네, 안녕하세요. 북한
Hello,
북핵
everyone.
경제 바로 알기 4회 연속 강연 중에 세
So
번째
we
강연입니다.
are in
북핵 경제
the
바로
third
알기
session of the four times series lectures Understanding North Korea, North Korean nuclear, and North Korean economy. My name is Susie Gazil, and I am the chairperson of the Youth Committee in Seattle.
시간도 있으시고 밤늦은
Thank
시간에
you, everyone, joining this event despite the different time zones. So some of you are in like, the early morning time or late night. I understand Jose Kang prepared a lot for this lecture. I would like to ask you to rename yourself as your name and which area you are joining
저희
from
강은지
now.
선생님께서 동시
And
통역을
we are providing simultaneous
또
translation.
하다가 내용이 좀 어렵다
And
싶으면
if you
댓글로
find
채팅창에 올려주셔도
any
감사하겠습니다.
contents
본인이 기억을
difficult
하셨다가
to understand,
질문
please leave the questions on a chat function.
지금까지 4회 연속 강연 및
Or if
공부
you
때문에 텔레그램 방에서
want to keep your question until the Q&A session, then you can do that also. So this is the third lecture of the series.
생각하고 있습니다.
I hope we can have more questions regarding the contents of the lecture. So I'm going to first introduce the order of the event today.
오늘 간단하게 진행을 순서를 하기 전에 하면서 그
Before introducing the order of the show, I'm going to announce the beginning of the lecture.
4회 연속 강연 중에서 세 번째 강연.
This is the third lecture of the four times series lecture. So today we are going to learn more about civilian use of military technology. I explained to you about how to listen to interpretation. If you click on the globe button on your bottom of the screen, then you can choose your language.
거기에 맞춰서 폐회사가 진행됩니다.
So you can see the order of the show today.
처음 순서로 국민의례가
The
있겠습니다.
first
오늘은 화상
order
강연
is salute to the national flag. Because it is online meeting,
먼저 국기에 대한 경례를
you may
하겠습니다.
sit or stand
나오는 태극기를 향해서
where you are.
하시면 되겠습니다.
Salute to the flag on your screen.
국기에 대하여 경례.
나는 자랑스러운 태극기 앞에 자유롭고 정의로운 대한민국의 무궁한 영광을 위하여 충성을 다할 것을 굳게 다짐합니다.
바로
다음은 애국가를 제청하겠습니다.
Now we will sing the national anthem together.
나라를 위해 희생하신 모든 분들을 기억하고 추모하는
Now
시간.
let's pay silent tribute to those who sacrificed themselves for their country. Now we will hear welcoming remarks from Chairperson Kim Sung-hoon, Seattle chapter of UAC. My name is Kim Sung-hoon, Chairperson of the Seattle chapter. Welcome everyone who joined this event. So we prepared 4 times the series lecture, and now we are more than half on the way. Until last time's lecture, we were able to learn different perspectives of understanding North Korean nuclear issues. Dr. Kang provided very innovative new approaches to understanding North Korean issue. He taught us how to not ignore the achievements North Korea has made until now. And based on this understanding, how we can prepare peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. I hope he can also provide different new perspectives again about civilian use of the defense technology today. And I hope this will give you opportunity to understand what we can do to prepare for the future of a unified Korean Peninsula. Thank you. Your remarks. Chairperson Kim Sung-hoon and all of the board members of the Seattle chapter provided full support to the success of this lecture series. Now I'm going to give the floor to Dr. Kang.
네, 반갑습니다.
Hello, everyone.
많은 분들이 참가를 해 주셨네요.
So I see many people joining.
많은 분들을 좌절시킨 게 아닌가 싶은데.
I'm afraid if I frustrated you too much
지금 제가
in my last lecture because it was too difficult.
학생들한테도
Well,
비슷한 내용으로
actually, this lecture is the same
약간 어렵지
as what I provide for the graduate school students.
도움되지 않을까.
So it can be very challenging to you, but
제가
I hope it
정도에서 얘기를
at least can give you some different perspectives.
않을까라는 생각을
Well,
했었는데
I thought that like everyone else
관점에
may find it similar understanding as me, but then later I gradually realized that I have different perspectives from others. But I still believe that by understanding diverse perspectives, you can find the correct or appropriate solutions. So, well, this lecture series is aimed to have the conclusion at the first lecture. So we are on the way to that goal. So today's lecture is about how we can build foundations for economic development in North Korea. Every time after lecture, I find so many people have so many questions. So I hope you can stay until the question and answer session so we can have some questions be answered. So I explained about my history, and just for those who had no chances to listen to the previous lectures. So I studied history of science in North Korea, and my doctoral thesis was about the early history of North Korea in the 1960s and 1970s. And I wrote this book, The Formation History of North Korea's Science and Technology.
김일성, 김정일
I plan to have 5 volumes.
국가를 어떻게 만들어 나간다.
So I would like to show
보겠다라는 생각으로 1번을 썼고요.
how North Korea has built its country
쓰고 있다라고 보시면
from the perspectives of science and technology.
오늘 강의들을 포함해서 제가 이런
And
글로
I also wrote several books and papers. You can read them from my blog. And the reason why I provide this kind of lectures is
남북이 교류를 하는데
because I think the future vision of the Korean Peninsula depends on exchange and cooperation between the two Koreas through scientific technology. So scientific technology is connected with the future, and the future is connected with unification, which includes North Korea's part. And you can see from this picture that there is this connect between scientific technology and North Korea, and connecting the dots is my mission, I think. That's why I prepared this lecture series. I hope you can learn from this lecture series. So today, I'm going to first explain dual usage of scientific technology. It can be used for military use and for civilian use. And who decides which use would be utilized depends upon the policymakers. Next, I will introduce the strategy for economic development in North Korea briefly.
박사님, 지금 마이크가
Excuse me, your microphone
여러 번 하울링이 심합니다. 박사님,
has
마이크
strong
위치가
howling.
다시 한 번만 확인해 봐 주세요.
Would you please check your microphone again?
예, 괜찮습니까?
Is it better now?
네, 고맙습니다. 지금
Yes.
박성기님께서
Thank you.
양호한 연결 상태를 위해서 참여한 분들의
So,
영상을
for smooth connection, it will be better for other participants to turn off your screen. No howling now?
괜찮습니다.
Yes, it's much better now.
제 컴퓨터에서 스피커가 나와서 아마 다시
네.
데모깅이 된 것 같습니다.
So
네.
I think it's just because of my computer thing.
편집을 나중에 해야
Um,
힘들겠습니다.
I'm going to start again.
자, 예.
I'm
북한의
afraid you will have
경제
some editing problems later.
모형으로 제가 설명해
And next, I'm going to introduce the structure of North Korean economy and strategy of development.
부분이라고 봅니다. 그래서 제일 중요한 두 가지
I
중에
think
하나가
this one you will remember most after the lecture. So based on this understanding, I'm going to explain or show that North Korea has its own style of development strategy. It's different from Chinese style or Vietnamese style. And the future vision was suggested in the 7th Congress, so I'm going to introduce it in brief. And so scientific technology can be used for military use and civilian use. And one of the most important scientific technology here is the CNC, that's the computerized numerical control. And in North Korea, they use the term as it is as a CNC, which is rare because North Korea often create its own terms in Korean for English terms. And there are evidences for the transition from munition or military use to civilian use. So I'm going to provide at least 5 evidences showing that trend. Finally, it is for practical use. So the outcome is unification policy. So I'm going to suggest some policy recommendations for unification. So there is no direction in scientific technology of itself. It can be used for military or it can be used for civilian use. So you can just like match down weapons into agricultural tools. So for example, for military use, scientific technology can be used for radar or cryptography, preparing after atomic war and missiles and nuclear warheads. But the same technology can be used for civilian use, such as a microwave oven. So microwave oven technology came from radar technology. And our cell phones, like the previous model of our cell phones, were based on CDMA, and which is resulted from cryptography. And internet that changes the entire aspect of life. Actually, that is also generated from preparing after atomic war. And CNC, they can be used for machinery, fuel, materials, and everything. And also, this nuclear technology can be used for medical use. For example, curing cancers. So those technologies which can be used for creating weapons, the same technology can be used for daily necessaries. If we can transition from military use to civilian use, then it can contribute significantly to the economic growth. So economic development strategy in North Korea follows the same trend. First, develop defense scientific technology and then use the same technology for civilian use. In the 1990s, North Korea experienced the arduous march, which was very difficult time for North Korean economy. At the time, Chairperson Kim Jong-il pursued military first, but at the same time, pursuing agriculture and light industry simultaneously. So even though it is termed as a military first strategy, it did not ignore the development aspects in the agriculture and light industry. Next, around 2013, well, between 1990s to 2013, I explained in my first and second lectures. Around that time, North Korea expected some negotiation or settlement to be to the United States, but the United States did not keep its promise, and North Korea realized that it should arm itself. And that's why around 2013, North Korea adopted the line of simultaneously pursuing economy and nuclear force. And around 2017, it completed its nuclear force. After that, so in 2018, North Korea started to concentrate all of its efforts on economic construction, economic development. And North Korea announced that scientific technology and education are the fundamental thing for this purpose. So it may sound strange because scientific technology and education are like long-term goals, and North Korea said that it needs to develop economic growth, and then scientific technology and education were the fundamental prerequisite for economic growth. So
갑자기 전략이 바뀌었다라는 맥락도 읽을 수가 있습니다. 그때 표방된 게 무기 만드는
and around 2009, August 2009, North Korea announced that it has some policy concentrated on CNCs. So we can see that North Korea has changed its strategy around 2013 and to 2017. Well, now let's see what are prerequisite for economic growth. You need the labor, you need the capital, and you need land or all other materials or resources. They are the three factors of creating added values. And there is one lacking, is trade. So it is importing something that lacks domestically from outside. So that's why it is external factor. And I'm not sure where it goes into. That's a technological innovation. Some people say that it's internal factor. Some people say it's external factor. I understand it is external factor. So that's how I created this model. And let's change it into North Korea's style of strategy for development of its economy. So North Korea has few trade factors integrated into its economy. We don't have any statistics how much percentage trade accounts for in its domestic growth. We don't know the statistics, the numbers, but we understand that it has really, really limited resources earning from trade. That's why North Korea tried to replace the lack of trade with technological innovation. With the increased sanctions against North Korea put more efforts in developing technological innovation. And another important characteristics of North Korea's structure is that there is a separate there is like a complete separation between military use and civilian use. In North Korea's budget, about 15% of the national budget is allocated to the national defense. But some people say that it can be about 30%. And according to North Korean people, some experts say that like North Koreans say the allocation to defense in its budget is like a 9-1. But I think that's too much exaggerated. So I understand that it could be maybe like a 50-50. So military use 50 and civilian use 50.
분리돼서 서로 건드리지 못하게 하는.
And you can see that between military use and civilian use, or the budget for military use and civilian use, there is a separation. It is siloed completely.
이런 것들을
And
추구하고 있는 게
now North Korea
그걸 전문용어로 스핀.
has tried to spin off
우리말로는 군수의 민수 전환.
military use
자, 그러면
into civilian use. So it's a
원래
transition to civilian use from military use.
고유한 이유가 있고
So
국방력입니다.
in the past, they were siloed completely, and then now they are transitioning what they achieved in military use into civilian use. This change took place first in the early 2000s. And there are two categories of defense. One is the conventional weapons, and the other one is the strategical weapons. So strategical weapons may include nuclear and missiles. And North Korea, if North Korea can keep its defense force by reducing like 20% of its defense budget, then it means the reduced budget can be used in civilian use. So it can create significant input effects in civilian use. And that is the reason why North Korea focused its strategy in developing strategical weapons, because North Korea was able to reduce its budget and resources in military use. And so starting from 2013, North Korea conducted 6 times of nuclear tests. That's why the international community enhanced sanctions against North Korea. For the first time, China even joined this economic sanctions against North Korea. So North Korea lost almost all of its trading partners, but North Korea did not surrender. Instead, North Korea decided to speed up completion of its nuclear force. And so in 2017, North Korea completed its nuclear force. Then in 2018 and 2019, there were some negotiations or dialogues between two Koreas and within the United States. And after the talks failed, North Korea is now transitioning to more scientific technology based and cultivating scientific technology talents and build self-reliance in its economic terms. So that is the solution North Korea adopted. That's the technological innovation. So that's North Korea's strategy. With the technological innovation, you can run its economy without trade, the other external factor. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, North Korea has some difficulties, but that was basically North Korea's strategy. And that strategy was first presented at the 7th Congress, and it has been maintained until the 8th Congress. So Chairperson Kim Jong-un presented 3 factors of military powerhouse. First, politically and ideologically, and second, scientific technology and economy. So in terms of political and ideological goals, North Korea has pursued socialism. So socialism means the socialism means that like you produce what you need and you use what you need. And that's the socialism. And under the scientific technology and economy goals, North Korea has pursued knowledge economy. So a socialist knowledge economy powerhouse, that's the ultimate vision of North Korea's economic development. And North Korea used different tense in its sectoral goals. So for political and ideological goals, it said that it already had completed its vision. And what are in the progress is the military power. So it has completed the military power as of today. And what is yet to be achieved is scientific technology and economy. So we can say that like, there are 4 chapters. The first chapter, political and ideological goals and military and scientific technology, and the final one is economy. So how North Korea wants to change its economy? In 1978, under the Kim Jong-il era, North Korea pursued self-reliance, modernization, informatization, and scientification of people's economy. So modernization and informatization means automatization, intelligence, and unmanned production. So they were the basic strategies in North Korea. And what enables this unmanned production is the CNC. So it is the combination of machine technology and information technology. So instead of people controlling machines, a computer controlling machines. So this technology was first used in military use. So as I explained before, so North Korea is pursuing knowledge economy powerhouse, and it is ensuring self-production, independent production of all material means necessary for people's lives and building economic growth. And second is integrating scientific technology and production. So they connected the development of scientific technology and production. And third, North Korea has pursued that advanced technology leading its economic growth. So the general evaluation of the 7th Congress, it provided very candid, detailed, and confident vision for future. It candidly admitted that there are some sectors which reached to the advanced level, but others lag behind significantly. And there is a lack of a balance between different sectors for people's economy. And the prerequisite sectors failed to lead the progress. So it was a very candid estimation of its current status, and it provided a very detailed vision to address these problems. So the fundamental direction is building an economic powerhouse. And for that, the prerequisite tasks would be development of scientific technology. At the center is energy located. And what is more important is that it showed a lot of confidence in its success. So how North Korea can be so confident of its future vision? And you can see that there are evidences. For example, North Korea has many sectors equipped with fundamental key technologies already achieved. Its industry is centered around the machine industry and steel, fertilizer, and plastics. And it also has strong defense industry. And scientific technology is the base for its confidence. In the military industry and in defense scientific technology, North Korea says that it achieved remarkable outcomes. And it said that it reached to the highest possible level. For example, North Korea has ICBMs and SLBMs. So in terms of ICBM, North Korea was the 10th country which achieved this level of technology. And in terms of SLBM, North Korea was the 5th. And it now has like a precise, lightened, unmanned, and intelligent advanced weapons systems. And North Korea has developed these technologies of itself independently without support from outside. It already accomplished this goal. Let's see more about what Chairperson Kim Jong-un said. So Kim Jong-un said that North Korea has modernized machine manufacturing bases and electronic automatized tools production bases, and they are in the high level in terms of advanced technologies. So they are cultivating excellent talents in scientific technology, and it has material foundations enhanced in terms of scientific research, and it achieved remarkable development in scientific technology. It has fundamentals and it has advanced technology. So North Korea has like young talents who already have enough technology capacity in scientific technology, and not only applied technologies, it has strong basis for fundamentals, and it also has advanced technology such as space technology. So in summary, in the 1990s, it completed its Arduino Smart, and it adopted the economic development strategy, prioritizing defense industry. So all resources were first provided for the defense industry. And this strategy was formalized in 2002. And after the nuclear dialogue failed in 2009, North Korea started to transition its driving force in the military industry into civilian economy. And in 2016, at the 7th Congress, it provided more advanced strategies such as unmanned production base. So you can see from this picture that in 2013, the first level, North Korea transitioned some parts of machines and equipment into CNC, and then now they are at the level 4. So these technologies were first accomplished in the military industry, and now they are transitioning these technologies for civilian use gradually. So now this year, 2021, at the 8th Congress, North Korea reiterated this strategy, but just a little bit changed its pace. So what is the CNC? Those who understand North Korea only from political and ideological perspectives, they disregard what Kim Jong-il made. CNC was first presented in the Kim Jong-il era, and the Kim Jong-un is now just continuing to pursue the strategy first presented by Kim Jong-il. So first, ANC was introduced early, and it was used until 2009. And around that time, CNC was introduced. So North Korea first used its own Korean term to explain computerized numerical control until 2009, but now they are using CNC as it is. And it requires a driving, motor, sensor, CNC controller, and South Korea also has the same technology, but anyway, CNC is the main technology of modernized science. So in 2009, North Korea first introduced the 5-axis CNC. You can see from this video. So all the devices are automatically moving and cutting this device. So to the level of 4-axis, it is called the single function. And from 5-axis CNC, it is called now multifunctional. So you may see that like how people make stamp. So you put your design on your computer and then the machine makes the stamp, but that you requires only like a 3 axis. So it's a single function. But now North Korea has developed CNCs with more than 5 axes. And in 2009, it advertised the development of CNC. Let's hear the song of CNC, which was first introduced in 2009.
네, 어떤가요?
How did you like the song? So it was good. Refreshing yourself too. It is really like a hook song. Strong hook. So this melody may linger your ears for a while, but the lyrics is difficult, but the song, the rhythm is very light and pleasant. So since 2009, North Korea has announced and publicized like what achievements it made in terms of CNC. So CNC was made public in 2009. At the time, not many North Korean experts understood the CNCs. I was about the same. I knew that like, CNC could be an important part understanding North Korea, but I had a lack of understanding, like no like documents supporting anything. But now I have like more information, and now I can see North Korea first started developing CNCs in the 1980s. So Germany and Japan are on the front line of CNCs. They actually like occupy the field. So that's why the language used in manufacturing CNCs were English, German, or Japanese. And North Korea used Korean as the language for CNCs, and many people are jealous of that. And also, North Korea developed its CNC controller and operation programs of itself. And now North Korea claims that it is capable of manufacturing more than 11-axis multifunctional CNCs. And it has a history of exporting the technology to the third world countries. And CNCs are considered like high technology, especially when they can operate like it has like a long lifespan. And according to the documents I collected, it shows that North Korea was able to manufacture CNCs which last long, even in the early 2000s. And these pictures you can easily find from internet, but no one actually tried to understand what these machines were. So this one, so this Kusong 104, like this model was the prototype because it was not computerized. So it was just an NC, like a numerical controller. And this, and then the other machines were manufactured by the factory, April 3rd factory. And I think they were manufactured early 1990s. And from the picture, you can see that like, there are many female, and they are not actually doing any manual labor. They were just like watching, like monitoring the machines. So it didn't require a lot of manual work, and it was able for female workers operate these machines, and CNC made it possible. And from this picture, you see that like, there are totally different models on the left and on the right. I think the picture shows that like about 20 machines installed there. So this one shows that like, it is flexible production cells. And this is the first reported model. This is a 5-axis processing machine. So you can see this picture on the circle, like cutting the machine. And it shows that it is manufactured by Leonha machine. And without the support from the government, North Korea was able to manufacture CNC in 1995. And it is said that Kim Jong-il first made a field visit to the factory in 1995 and found out that CNCs were already completed and gave the name Leonha machine to this CNC in 1995. So without national support, the factories were able to create like the able to complete the transition from NC to CNC. And based on CNCs, North Korea decided to develop its military force as well as economic force. So 11-axis CNCs, they are often called mother CNC because this CNC is manufacturing CNCs. So you can see from the picture that this is about 3 meters tall. So it's 2 times tall and 4 times wide and 8 times large. So in 2011, when Kim Jong-un was nominated as a successor, there was a report that this specific CNC was about to be completed. I think now they already completed around that time. What is more surprising is that immediately before Kim Jong-il died, North Korea created a factory dedicated to mass producing CNCs. So you see how big this factory is. And this factory is located in Jagang province, a very cold area, and they use the geothermal heat, solar heat, and solar power. They were able to maintain constant temperature and humidity necessary for CNCs. So it's automated process of manufacturing CNCs. So this factory is located in Hicheon, Jagang province. When I presented this lecture to some workers who actually working on CNCs, and they asked the same question that then what you do with the tools, because in South Korea, we import those tools dedicated to CNCs because these tools, disposable goods. But in North Korea, they also have tools production factory, which is Unsan Tools Factory. And this picture was from 2015. So they are different model of CNCs. They also showed it has a flexible production line. The system automated and connected each other. So similar. So it has like multiple machines working together. So these pictures I collected from magazines issued by North Korea. And you see these technical specifications. So it shows the feeding range. The sprinter speed range is a little bit smaller than cars. So anyway, it shows that it has now new model. And this one came out this year. So it says 6C, so I guess it is the 6-axis, and the other one is like 10-axis CNC. So you saw different pictures. So the CNC is critical in manufacturing weapons. For example, this jet flights or spaceships, you definitely need the CNCs. And what are the benefits of CNCs? The first benefit is it can reduce the production cost because you use a computer and you use automated sensors. So as long as the CNCs malfunction, you can create precise machines automatically in a fast pace. So it also increases the production amount. And it is easy to have technicians because it doesn't require specific technical capability to operate the CNCs because CNCs work themselves. So you just need people with the minimum technology just to supervise or monitor the operation of CNCs. So if you don't have CNCs introduced in your manufacturing, it will be almost impossible to have production necessary to have economic side. And so it shows that the market share of CNCs. So you can say that like there are two countries, strong powers, or so it can be like three powerhouses and three shoulder countries and four low countries. North Korea is similar with the Space Club countries. And now North Korea has multi-functions CNCs, which is more than 5 axes. So it has a highly added value. So less than 4 axes, it is called the single function. And there is saturation of the market in single function CNCs. I am going to now present some evidences to show spin-off from military use to civilian use. In December 2012, North Korea launched Kwangmyongsong, the satellite. So it was called Kwangmyongsong 3-2. So North Korea completed the Kwangmyongsong 3-2 in December 2012, and it also publicized the 101 scientists, technicians, and workers who contributed to the launch of the satellite. And among the 101 people, only one person was previously recognized. So it shows that those people who worked underground came to public around that time. And the second case is the change in the universities. So in 2016, the Defense University was first made public in a report that the chairperson made a field guidance to the university. And in 2017, the name of the university was changed to Kim Jong-un University. And from the picture of that article, it shows that I think it shows that the university students created a simulation game, and then it made the exhibition at an exhibition of the informatization. And the third one, that is more critical here. So there has been a show of daily necessaries in the military defense. The show was first held in 2015. And the show demonstrated that North Korea already has great potential and advanced scientific technology in the military industry. So if North Korea could use this scientific technology for civilian use, they can produce quality goods necessary to shops. And next, in 2019, under the direction of Chairperson Kim Jong-un, a hot spring resort was created in Pyongan province. And there was a ski resort created in the resort, and the horizontal elevator and cable cars were installed and created by the military. This is like a snow machine, and this machine were imported from Swiss and other countries in constructing Masikryong ski resort. And these companies were subjected to the United Nations sanctions because these machines were banned under the sanctions. But then later it was found out that these machines were like second-handed, so they were not but at the violation of the United Nations sanctions. But anyway, this shows that North Korea successfully transitioned its military technology into civilian use. And the fifth case shows that a former airfield was transitioned to a farm growing vegetables and trees. So it created a new town, like a big town, which is computerized operation system. So North Korea's economic development strategy, at the center of its strategy, CNC is, and this transition is directed by Chairperson Kim Jong-un. So now I'm going to show some recommendations for future unification policy and future North Korean policy. So North Korea has started transitioning its scientific technology in the military use into civilian use. That is the key strategy for its economic development. And there was liaison office between the two Koreas. And what North Korea kept saying through this liaison office was that North Korea kept suggesting that let's do anything that involves scientific technology. Like for example, in 2015, North Korea suggested that let's cooperate something about scientific technology. So let's work together in terms of scientific technology so that both Koreas can develop its economics. So I think the key agenda of future unification policy and North Korean policy should be scientific technology and creating innovation system. I'm not sure how much common sense or like how much common grounds in the South Korean government and peace and unification advocates in South Korea have understanding about this agenda. I'm going to explain more in detail in my next lecture. Thank you for your lecture. So there is Telegram discussion room. You can join that group. Thank you for your lecture. So now, if you have any questions or comments, you can unmute yourself.
네, 뮤트를 지금 발언을 하지 않는 분들은 뮤트를 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
If you don't speak, please mute yourself. Only those who have questions, unmute yourself and make a question. Do we need translation?
통역도 지금 이렇게 멈추셔도 좋겠습니다.